that boring. Okay, we are live, let's say prematurely. I was planning the stream to be started in 4 minutes, but it's okay, like we started a little bit earlier because I just want to record, not to record, but I just want to stream on the main channel. Let's try how it goes on the main channel. Hopefully okay. It's been a while since I was on the main channel streaming. But yeah. Real Zach, hi. Totally Insane Ben, our usual team. Hi everyone. Hi guys. Hope you're doing great. Yeah, hopefully we'll have some more time. You're live? Yeah, we're live. Just wanted to say hi. I think it's been a while since I started the stream, or I conducted the streams on the main channel. So I think it's the proper way for me to do it on 4th year anniversary of the start of the full-scale aggression. It's not the start of the war, it's the start of the full-scale aggression. Actually, the war itself continues for 12 years. And the last 4 years is the most hot stage. It seems work, but you have a slow chat activated, so we have limited reaction space. Maybe I should cancel that feature, you know. Stream settings. Maybe I'm gonna live chat slow mode. We're gonna remove the slow mode. You can go freely. Hello Denys, you released a new song dedicated to you two released a new song dedicated to fallen Ukrainian heroes, Slava Ukraine. Really interesting. The translation option is not enabled. Is there any translation option? I didn't know that we have that. Details, category. For the stream, I think we don't have those details for translation options. I'm sorry. There is no translation option. Yeah, translation option is usually on the videos, but I disabled that because many people start to complain. They didn't know how to switch back to English, and like the guys, for example, who were watching me from Germany, some of them, they complain like, I don't want to watch you with this artificial voice. I don't know how to change back to English, so I canceled that. Hello, Mr. Supreme. Hello, what's up, Denys? Hello from greetings to Finland. For the daily updates, watch your videos on. Thank you. Hello from Canada is awesome. Watch your videos. Thank you guys. So 4 years of war. 4 years of war. Russia still following its special military operation. As Russian propaganda promised 3 days of the war. I remember how when Russia went to Ukraine, they conducted this assault from multiple of the sides, but with quite limited forces. Yeah, 1,000, close to 200,000 soldiers they used, which is of course not enough to conquer such a big country as Ukraine. But I remember all those Russian military bloggers, analytics, and Russian propaganda itself, how they were cheerful about their attack, that Ukraine will finally collapse, that they're gonna win, and just few of them stated that this is not gonna be the easy walk for the Russian army, that it's gonna be very complicated. But no one really from Russians put attention on those bad forecasts for them. It was the hooray mood from Russians, and now it's 4 years of war. Lots of the things had happened, yeah, since the start of the full-scale war, and yeah, lots of the stuff. starting from failed Russian attack on Gostomel, Kyiv, several of the Ukrainian counteroffensive operations, like, for example, in Kharkiv region, in Kherson, it was separate counteroffensive, failed Ukrainian counteroffensive in 2023, Russian loss of the Moskva ship, Prigozhin coup, all of this situation with Kursk Oblast, with the Ukrainian counter-strike towards Russian sovereign territory. Ukraine became the first country which attacked a nuclear country. Non-nuclear country attacked nuclear country, yeah. And Russia didn't do anything about it. Later on, Russia switched to the war of attrition and still fighting, yeah. Still there, scrolling little by little. Ukraine tries to counterattack in Zaporizhia direction, in Dnipropetrovsk Oblast, but this war probably is going to continue like that for extensive period of time. As I say in my videos, my personal forecast for it to continue for several more years. It could be 3 years, it could be 5 years, it could be more. But it will not finish in 2027, it will not finish in 2028, and I guess will not finish in 2029. I think it will, judging on Russians' determination, judging on Ukrainians' still ability to fight for its land, I think that Russia, like, no side wants to just give up on interests. The interest for Russia is clear, even though they say it's like the occupation of Donbass, Donetsk Oblast, it's not. They want to use it as the next bridgehead to occupy the rest of the Ukrainian territories and to go to Dnipro, to Kharkiv. And Ukraine, well, Zelensky and all of the Ukrainian military commanders, they say that they will not give up Donbass. And it's the proper variant to do. Gonna put attention to the super chats. Hey Denys, thank you for 24/7 work on the Ukrainian topic. Yeah, not 24/7 actually. I work maybe 5-6 hours a day now for Ukrainian topic, with hopes for fair peace on independent country from Finland. Oh, Finland is awesome. Finland is great. Thank you, Thomas Soranen. And we have super chat from Denmark. We stand together. Thank you, Kalpine. Thank you. Thank you, Kalpine or Kalpine. First time on Twitch, someone twitching with excitement. Yeah, thank you. Twitching with excitement for joining on Twitch. Yeah, so no goals of the special military operation were reached by Russia, and there is no perspective visible one for them to reach those goals this year, next year, and in 3 years. And we see that Russian economy goes down. It's already evident, and soon it's going to go to stagflation. This year it's going to be the start of it. And what we have is that Ukraine boosts its capabilities in long-range strikes, and it attacks Russian territories. We have fantastic images now coming from Kaleikino mixing station. I'm just going to show it to you. Sorry, just right now. Yeah, this is Kaleikino, this mixing and pump station. We also probably obtained the satellite images. At least I saw them. I will try to find them. And several tanks are on fire. For sure, it will take Russia. And still, it's on fire. Yeah, still, this is what is happening at other part. So the facility is like received substantial damage, and this is the video itself. You may look. So several of the tanks, it is spreading out there. Several, yeah, this tank is no more. This tank is on fire. This tank is on fire. So substantial damage to the Russian facility. And it tells that Russia will not be capable to pump the oil for the oil export for a very, very long time. Several months at least they need to restore the facility. And the Ukraine bites Russia like that. Day by day, Yeah, this is really huge. This is really something with something. So it's no go, absolutely. Russian, it's maybe half a year, maybe more to restore that one. And it was crucial. That's why I filmed a video yesterday about this decisive strike. Stay awesome. Thank you for the hard work. Thank you, Thomas. What's happening about Kerch Bridge disappearing? So far, you see no strikes on that one. I think the effort is being coordinated with our allies, and our allies still, they're not oriented to help Ukraine with Kerch Bridge. I think Ukraine alone cannot demolish it completely. After all, it's very robust construction, so Ukraine needs some of the tools. I love smell the burning Russian assets in the morning. Yeah. I didn't got to catch you on the stream. Thank you, Spousey. Thank you for resilience. Yeah, resilience is... I'm gonna show you the video of Kellen Robertson, a friend of the channel, what he says about resilience, and here I 100% agree with him. So here we have a satellite image. It seems like this row of the biggest oil tanks is on fire. Also, the infrastructure itself, other facilities were damaged. So for sure it is no go, at least for several months. Russia will not be capable to sell its oil. At least 30 up to 40% was dependent on the station, of the oil export was depending on the station. That's interesting. Greetings to Arizona. Did many Russians who left Russia get work in Ukraine at the army now? There are some of the brigades and battalions of Russians fighting for Ukraine, like RDK, Russian Volunteer Corps, and Legion of Freedom. They do not count lots of the soldiers compared to other international brigades, I would say. For example, there are many more Colombians who are fighting for Ukraine than the Russians. Do you think that the latest counteroffensive will reach Zaporizhia Oblast from Dnipro Oblast? It is ongoing in Zaporizhia Oblast, this counteroffensive. It is both in Zaporizhia and Dnipropetrovsk regions. Well, the deep state military map, it doesn't give us this detailed information. They still stay calm about, but we know where it is happening. In Verbovo, here it is happening. In Dobropilya, so Dobropilya, it's already Zaporizhia Oblast. Ukraine also strikes not far away from Varvarivka. So this, let me show you. This is the border between Zaporizhia and Dnipropetrovsk, just border between oblasts, and Ukraine counterattacks in this direction, in this direction, and this direction. Ternova was liberated, Kalinivsky as well. So the fight is ongoing for Berezova, and also Ukraine attacks from Dobropilya and Varvarivka, moving towards Solodka. For now, this is the latest information, but if the attack wasn't like the breakthrough in the first week, it will not be later on. So I would say that this peak of the attack operation of Ukraine has already been reached. So it is happening both in Zaporizhia and Dnipropetrovsk regions. Are these areas all deserted? Well, all of the villages are being hit. Some of the rubble left from the villages and small towns, but still there are lots of the basements. Ruined buildings also could be used to hide. Attack is mostly conducted with infantry forces. Ukraine uses the similar tactics of infiltration that Russians do. Hope you are doing well. I work as an air traffic controller in Slovenia. Oh, nice. Perhaps we have heard each other in the frequency back in the day before the war. If you were flying, we were flying over Slovenia. Then we were flying to some of the countries, even to Zurich. I think we or flown Slovenia, but I'm not sure. I don't remember. Do you think that people will ever go back to these ruins? To the ruins, no. About the villages, whether they're gonna be rebuilt, many of them, no. Just occasionally, some of them. Yeah, 4 years of war, so sad. Yeah, it is kind of sad. And I want to share with you the video of resilience. Yeah, we are speaking about resilience, and here I agree with Kellen Robertson. I don't know if you will be able to hear him here. I'll boost up the volume.
Are constantly
it's too much.
Pressured to be resilient. And living in Ukraine and speaking to Ukrainians every single day, they are exhausted by that word. Because resilience has become a compliment that's been used by people who don't want to make hard decisions, a way to admire suffering from a distance. And as a journalist, I deeply respect Clarissa Ward. She's amazing, and she spoke about this yesterday, and she shared an amazing analogy. And she said, imagine watching someone drown from a distance. They're fighting, they're still thrashing, they're staying alive. And instead of pulling them out of the water, they say, wow, look how resilient they are. Resilience doesn't stop a war. Resilience doesn't intercept missiles. Support is what does that. And that's what Ukraine needs now more than ever. And make no mistake, this war is no longer confined specifically to Ukraine. Russia is launching missiles into Ukraine and into Ukrainian cities, but it's launching disinformation into your phones, into your elections, and into your policies. But war isn't coming. It's already here. It arrived online, on the internet, and it works. History will remember what started this war and who kept paying for it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's like that. So Europe is still like purchasing some of the Russian fossil fuels. Europe is even telling Ukraine to repair Druzhba pipeline for whatever reason, and Ukraine responds with striking the main hub of Russian oil in Russia itself. So it's not about resilience, it's about support. And sadly, some of the countries like Hungary and Slovakia, they blackmail Ukraine, their governments, not the people, I mean the governments of those countries. They say, we're not going to give you electricity, we're not going to support you with diesel fuel that you need for your generators and maybe for your army. We will not support sanctions packages against Russia. We will not support European Union 90 billion military package for you. That's the total blackmail. And it's very sad that the entire decision-making of EU depends on those countries, crazy countries, or crazy regimes, is better to say, that occupied those countries temporarily, like Orban's regime, right? And just hope in April everything might change. Yeah, that after elections Orban will resign. But instead of supporting Ukraine, we have Slovakia was really supportive towards Ukraine at the very beginning of the war. They even supplied Ukraine with the jets. But then Fico came to power. Everything turned upside down. And there is the threat definitely for Europe that the urbanization, whether we like it or not, it is happening. Urbanization of the Europe, not urbanization, but from the word urban, yeah, that Europe follows this kind of the far right ideas or sometimes far left ideas, and the external policy, the foreign policy of both far left and far right, it's basically the same. Yeah, if we take some of the influencer out there on Twitch, Hassan Piker, he'll have absolutely the same attitude towards Ukraine as, let's say, Tucker Carlson or whoever is there from so-called right side. And they're being fueled by Russian propaganda, Russian disinformation machine. Sadly, it's happening like that, yeah. And it's very effective. They speculate on populist topics like migration, taxes, I don't know, property, whatsoever, real estate, yeah, it's now very, very expensive. So there is the crisis of the current system. It's understandable, but it's not crisis as it could be, as in Russia. So if those populist politicians will come to power, they will be reckless, even more incompetent. That is what we see in the United States of America. Then they elected populist on those just yapping slogans, and organized brilliantly election campaign of Donald Trump. They voted for him, and what we have? Completely incompetent leader, incompetent cabinet, just freak show that ruins international relations, internal economy, and yeah, that is also what Russia wants to do in Europe. Sadly, but it seems like Russia is winning this informational war for now, from what I see. I may judge, yeah? Not fully winning, but I think they just invest more. No one pays those kind of the influencers like me, Kellen Robertson, or Jake Bro. Like, it's just our enthusiasm and your support, for example, on Patreon, yeah, on membership of the channel. That's what makes it the full-time job for us, and we invest our time in producing content. Some people like me produce it every day. Jake Bro also very often publishes, like once in 2 days, I think he publishes the videos. But it's not the government solution, or not the solution of the democratic powers, yeah? So, and it's quite strange that autocracies, they're capable to organize this brainwash machine quite effectively, using X or Twitter, it's better to say, using other platforms. But at the same time, democracies, they're able, I'm not saying about, oh, they should pay money for me. No, they should came out with a system of the influence widely in internet, through influencers like me and others, to create more influencers, because it's all like volunteer thing, and volunteer thing will always lose to organized government supported propaganda. Yeah, and the ideas of the Russian propaganda somehow they coincide with, for example, Elon Musk's ideas. Yeah, Donald Trump partially, since they want to make a deal or something. They have something in common. They have split agenda as well. Then Zelensky is going to hold election. He spoke about elections, I think, yesterday, but I do not expect that those elections will be conducted in Ukraine by the time that there is the war. Do you think Trump lose the midterm elections? Will it have the effect on the war? I think it will have an effect. Yeah, not dramatic one, but it will have an effect on Donald Trump, of course. And they will lose. I mean, Republicans, it's already evident that they will lose those elections. It's Hi, Dizzy. Welcome to Twitch. When do you think they will move against Putin? Who they? Probably he won't lose midterms. Why? Why do you think so? People are voting for Democrats right now, even in those regions, like there were major mayor elections in Florida, in some town, I don't remember the name, and Democrats were not leading at first, and they were not elected for decades there. Only Republicans. But now Democrats are being elected. Donald Trump is losing his popularity. His disapproval rating is a record one. Since the start of statistics, he has the greatest disapproval, and he is connected to Republican Party. So I give it 99.9% that Republicans lose the elections midterms. Yeah, they're gonna lose it unless Donald Trump rigs them, as he says. We need nationalized elections. So It's like with Orban. Yeah, he will lose it according to statistics and to the polls, but he might rig them. Thanks, somebody. What do you think about Zelensky and about his security? Yeah, I think he should put more attention on security because he is like pain in the ass for many of the top politicians out there. Do you think Trump destroying the Republicans could disrupt the two-party system in America? Yeah, you know, Republicans, they're being poisoned by MAGA, and I don't like them any longer because they vote against the release of the Epstein files. Just 4 of the Republicans from all of the congressmen voted for release. So it tells a lot about their morale. So they have no morale, no dignity. Denys, how do you think we can save the WR? What is WR? Thanks, you guys. Thank you. 4 years ago, at this time, we were all our noses in the front of TV with the news crazy times. Yeah, I remember this day, guys. Well, by this time, I was already in a village in Vinnytskaya Oblast. Yeah. I will not specify you the specific location because still some of the relatives of my wife, they're there. So we came there, our life was destroyed, and I didn't sleep the first night. I was all in Telegram, actually. That's when I started to use Telegram a lot because we have lots of the groups out there, so I have the Telegram here since that time. Maybe if it was not for Telegram, I wouldn't start filming the videos because you obtain like visual information, videos, everything on Telegram. It's like Twitter, yeah, where you have very low censorship. I'm not saying that I do not like the owner of Telegram, Pavel Durov, as I do not like owner of Twitter, Elon Musk. But Telegram is used by Ukrainian officials, Ukrainian president as well, Ukrainian SBU, and many volunteers, many soldiers. So it's a very brief, you just click and you see what happened. Very good thing to obtain the news. You don't need to watch TV and all of this TV marathon official from Ukraine. You just know what is happening straight from Telegram, and it is good. And I just, in my videos, I just took the information from Telegram and put my own comments and my own analysis, let's say. Deep State gave me the information initial about movements of the Ukrainian army, and that's how I started to film those videos. But yeah, this first day was crazy. My house is like 50 meters away from the fence of the military base, and I heard did I tell you the story? I don't know. So I was not sleeping by the time because I saw that the airspace has been closed. No time was released by European Eurocontrol. Initially by Russia, they closed their airports close to the Ukrainian borders. And later on, notices to airmen were released by Eurocontrol. And immediately airplanes which were flying in Ukrainian airspace, they start to leave Ukraine. And I already understood that something is going to happen. And I woke up my wife, I woke up my daughter, we started to collect the belongings, and at the same time Putin went on with his speech saying that I decided to start a special military operation. And few minutes after, there were huge explosions. And later on I understood, after 1 day or two, as in a Borispol Telegram group, they said those were not the explosions, but it was Ukrainian S-300 system that was installed not far away from us. I didn't know about it, but they launched S-300 to intercept Russian cruise missiles, and it was very close to my house, apparently. But I thought that those are missiles coming because the house was shaking, you know. Then they launch it's like explosion similar to that one. And I thought that they're bombing us, and we like grabbed everything. I forgot my socks, I forgot lots of the stuff, and we went to the car, and we were one of the first cars that was leaving Kyiv, through Kyiv, yeah. I was driving like 160, 170 kilometers an hour. So it's 100 miles an hour through the city. Early morning, it was, I think it's 4 with something in the morning. Yeah, close to 5 with my family, my young daughter. We were like streaming through the city because I thought, okay, we're going to be bombed here in Kyiv. I don't know what they might use, like tactical nukes or something. I don't know. And there were cars like ours, you know, 170, it's not the limit. There were the cars more than 200 kilometers an hour intercepting. And we exited Kyiv. It was okay. And I refueled my car, and it was like last refueling for the next 2 months because there was the crisis with the fuel later on. And we arrived to the village in Vinnytsia Oblast, and there were already queues in the gas stations and everything. And then we came to this village house. I turned on TV, and already all the Kyiv, it's like the whole traffic jam. People were leaving it in the long queues. People, yeah, some of the people were leaving, some of the people were signing up for army. The next day, I registered in the village, and we all were sent, like all of the men who arrived to the village, we all were sent to military branch, local one. They say, have I ever served in Ukrainian army? I say, no. Okay, give us your number. I just gave it to them, and that's it. They say they will call me, but never called. That was my... Like, I didn't go there like voluntarily, let's say, but they called me, like local authorities of the village. They collected everyone. You should go to the military branch. Okay, like I didn't say no, let's say. I wasn't really enthusiastic, but okay, if we have to, we go. But later on, I decided not to join. Keep up the good work. Thank you, Tyler. Thank you. And later on, after we left Ukraine. But this first day was crazy. Yeah. We didn't know. Like, I thought that Russians would occupy Kyiv. So many fights were reported. Later on, Gostomel, Bucha. And I had my friend who was living not far away from Irpin. And Russians crossed the road between Buzova and Kyiv. So he was living like between Russian forces and between Ukrainian forces in Kyiv. And all of the shells were flying over his house. Later on, his roof was hit by one of the shells. The roof was almost ruined. It's like 5-story building they had. There was the fire, but luckily the fire didn't spread, so building survived, and later on they restored the roof. But it was he, the first guy, who told me that Russians are leaving. He called me in 1 month. Yeah, Russians start to leave the area. They understood that they cannot reach Kyiv. Finally, that the bridges were cut. That Ukraine sent some of reinforcements. That they have even Russians have had the risk of being encircled. And they start to withdraw the forces. And before withdrawing, they launched everything they have. They had, yeah, all of the missiles, shells, because he told me, like, they fire absolutely everything towards Kyiv, and then they start to retreat. He filmed a video of his tank not far away, not his, Russian tank not far away. And yeah, later on, wow, they're definitely leaving. It's a surprise was. But the Russians actually were forced to leave Kyiv, and later on they regrouped their forces towards Donbass. Yeah, and since that time the fight is ongoing mainly in Donbass. And Denys Davydov is flying a 737. In a way, yes, but I would not like to return to commercial aviation for multiple of the reasons. Yeah, the first days were crazy. And I thought that Russia would be successful, but later on, yeah, no. I was surprised that Ukraine resisted that much. Actually, everyone was surprised, I think, in the West as well. Intelligence and the military intelligence, CIA and politicians of the United States, they were calling that, okay, Putin is going to start the war in Ukraine. Putin is going to start the war in Ukraine. But they all were saying at the same time that Ukraine will fall, Ukraine will hold for several weeks, and those several weeks continue for 4 years already. Also with the help of support of the other countries. Thanks for gifting membership, Jawoshki Bart, thank you. Andres Koenig, thanks for joining the membership. And LH007, yeah, I already respond for a question. Yeah, I don't want to return back to commercial aviation. I like flying, but I don't want to be connected to the airline for, again, many of the reasons. I filmed on my trash channel, on my second channel, let's call it like that. I filmed the video why, so you may check it out with more detailed explanation, or you may go to my pilot blog where I also filmed the video about it. So I think I will continue my career online if it is possible. Of course, if my channels are, like, if I cannot earn in the future, if I wouldn't be able to earn in the future money from my activity, of course I'll go flying once again. Ukraine is also surprised how it can defend itself. Yeah, people in Ukraine, many were surprised that, but it was, yeah, many people joined the army initially. To be honest, I didn't know what was going on the Russian invaders in Ukraine, but then I found out everything. What was the reason you left commercial flying? At any rate, secondary, where you typewrite? How long typewriting? Typewriting lasts for 3 years. I already lost it. And what was the reason you left commercial flying? War had started and I switched to this activity. I wouldn't be able to film videos for you if I was flying. Been watching your channel since 2022, yeah. I actually started to record videos in the 1st of May. I think it was my first Ukrainian video. 1st of May. Yeah, not in February, not in March, not in April, but in 1st of May I started to record the videos about the war in Ukraine. And since that time, almost every day I upload videos. Almost. I sometimes miss days. Did you see the latest covered Gabel's video about Russia is virtually out of T-80 storage? No. America was involved in forming of Ukrainian army 10 years before 2014. Ukraine was cooperating with allies, yes, but it was not involved in forming Ukrainian army. Ukrainian army was basically non-existent in 2014, like it was sold out, all of the equipment. I know the situation in Ukrainian army till 2014 because I have lots of the friends in the army, and even in the Ukrainian VDV, paratrooper divisions, they had a very, very terrible state till 2014. All the previous presidents till the time, they did absolutely everything to ruin the army. Saturas, Alga, Kazakhstan. What should Ukraine do to win the war? What should Russia do to win the war? Russia is unable to win this war, and Ukraine has two options: to surrender or to continue the fight. Ukraine didn't choose to surrender, so it continued the fight. How it may end, you might ask, it might end only with the Russians, and that Russia will not be capable to gain the ground any longer. They will face economical collapse or suffering at least, so they will not be able to hire those soldiers or whatsoever to maintain their army activity in Ukraine. So the war could be frozen and Ukraine will just have to wait for the Russian regime to collapse. That's it. And later on return back all of the territories with the Russian collapse. That's how we do. I'm doing great, thanks. It feels kind of funny and odd to have heard Denys' voice for the past 4 years almost daily. Yeah, my voice has changed actually for the last 4 years. If you watch my first videos, my voice was really different. I mean, this practice of speaking every day, it's... Denys, you deleted the first 2 videos, then you fled Kyiv? No, I think I didn't delete those. Do you believe Ukraine can keep fighting until Russia runs out of money or volunteers? Yes, I believe in that. Why not? Elas Swiss, please don't spam. What type of partisan activity is going on in the Russian-controlled territory? Partisan activity? Yeah, sometimes, but it's not like full-scale partisan activity. It's really hard to partisaning there because Russia controls everything. People are afraid to go. But still, it's happening. It's happening. RFE reported that T-72 and newer are still being produced, but in the Frankenstein way due to having easy access to more sophisticated electronics components. Pressure in India. Yeah, Russians, they even used before the war aiming equipment sent to them by France, by Thales company, as well as our monitors for fighter jets. Still they obtained those somehow by the third countries, but not as much as before. That's why they cannot produce that capable tanks as before. Also, like this massively. How is the ex-general doing to affect political landscape? Ex-general, do you mean Zaluzhny? His recent remark is not helping Ukraine. Absolutely, I'm very dissatisfied with what he said in interview, and I do not support that at all, as many of Ukrainians, and he hurt his own rating, I would say. If he really wants to go and run for president, I wouldn't vote for him, no. And as many of Ukrainians. For me, if there is the choice between Zaluzhny and Zelensky, still Zelensky is better. Before I had different opinion, but after Zaluzhny resigned because of medical condition and he started to post absolute nonsense and cringe online, I understood who he really is, sadly. Cheers, my friend, and have a good time. Thank you, Doreen. Thank you. How do you think Ukraine can overcome its manpower shortages? This is one of the areas I find most concerning. It could lead to potential rapid collapse of resilience. It will not lead to the rapid collapse. Ukraine still has lots of the people. How to change? The attitude should be changed. And I see it's changing with the new defense minister, Fedorov. I think he's a really good guy. They're working on reform in Ukrainian mobilization, and they're working on reforms in Ukrainian army finally. So if people would see that they will not lose life for just incompetence of the commanders, they will join Ukrainian army. That's the main thing. To have normal salary, which should be higher than it is right now, to have 100% support of the family in case of the life loss or disability, and to make sure that all of the low rank and high rank commanders, they're competent. So there should be internal selection in command, and all of this virus of Soviet Union, Soviet dinosaurs, I call them, the generals of the old school. They should be resigned, absolutely. They should be fired out. What's your opinion on the activity of Ukrainian secret services on territory of Russia? What do you think was their most important achievement? Well, secret service, 3 generals in Moscow, for example, that's what recently happened, with one of the Russian generals. Despite the rep operation, it's all like you may call intelligence, secret service, SBU, they all work and cooperate together. Thank you, Mogger Jim. More than 6 years since I joined Denys and start pilot blog. Yes, Wayne, thank you so much for that. Zelensky is surely tight, like most Ukrainians. He's the greatest leader in the world. I'm not sure about greatest leader, but still better than any sort of the alternatives we potentially might have right now. I'm pretty sure Ukraine has much more soldiers than they reveal. Yeah, millions more, actually. Potentially. There are issues with mobilization. It's pretty much like this war is the war of poor, let's be honest. In Russia, it's the war of poor. Poor people sign contracts with the Russian army. They're desperate in their situation, and now they see, millions of rubles. They signed this contract because they are, first of all, brainwashed by Russian TV that everything is all right there. They go, they sign, they look for easy money for them, for their families. In Ukraine, it's also the war of poor because those who have money, if they don't want to serve, they pay and they do not serve. There are some of the schemes still out there, and I see the positive move there as well. I mean, corruption is, after all, it's not hidden like it was even 1 year ago. The fight against corruption is ongoing, and there is positive move. I see it. With this Mindich scandal, Mindich Gate, Zelensky's friends, I filmed a separate video about that one. It's good that it happened after all. Yeah, it's the strike on reputation. Oh, wow, corruption in Ukraine. But it's the good thing that it was uncovered. It's the good thing that Yermak was fired. It's the good thing that Galushenko, who is the energy minister and who was a top key official in the scheme, he was arrested recently. Just, I think, 3 days ago, he was arrested. Jose Diaz, thank you. Freedom won't bestow glory to heroes. Freedom flag, love. Puerto Rico. Oh, Puerto Rico is awesome. Thank you. Do you think Trump will bail out Russian economy in the same way he bailed out Javier Milei Argentina? It's hard to say. They want to make a deal, but whether it will be enough to save Russia, I don't think so. Cool new mic. I'm not sure about mic. I have this mic sickness, and now I'm still deciding between what mic to use, like this one, or I have this one, Shure SM7B. It's more bassy. Well, we'll see. Maybe sometimes this, sometimes this. Are free to concentrate on your game or school work now. Feel free. Have a great day. Wayne making zeers, sir. Thanks for support. Thanks for super chat. I know a soldier who got cancer while in ZSU. He was medically discharged, but he has to pay for his own cancer medicine. Oh, that's too bad. Those soldiers get post-service medical care paid for. I think if they were wounded, they got this care, but whether it's his own disease, it's hard to say. Yeah, it depends on insurance companies, I guess. I was surprised that, for example, here it's also one of my neighbors. He got surgery on his knee, and insurance company doesn't want to pay for it because he obtained the wound during his while he was not the wound, injury. Then he was playing volleyball or something, or some of the other sport activity. I'm not sure. Maybe skiing. I don't remember. So they don't want to pay. Like, it's your own trauma. We didn't force you to go for skiing, so pay for everything yourself. Like, this is crazy. If you have insurance, it should be insured. Yeah. So it's everybody is doing sports. So I think like there are some of the issues like that in Ukraine as well. In the United States too, yeah, with those insurances. It was a good idea for Fedorov to announce that they have taken care of the issue with recruiting enough new soldiers to replenish the troops' numbers is currently deploying and exhausted. True or not? I need to cross-check that. Thank you, Swain. Thanks for 6 fantastic years. Thanks for telephone talks. Fantastic friends here. Thank you, Swain, so much. Yeah. More videos on Palablock, hopefully. If Ukraine breaks out from the Russian front line, will they stop at the old Ukrainian borders, or will they drive into Russia? No, all the Ukrainian borders. Ukraine doesn't need Russian territories. Of course, no. There is the chance that Russia may start to disintegrate into local republics if Russian regime collapses. As Jake Bro said in his video, he thinks that the war might be stopped with the Putin's death. It's really hard to say, guys. Like, Putin's death may start some of the events in Russia to make it, I don't know, unstable. There could be fight for power, whatsoever. Maybe, or maybe not. Because, for example, in Afghan war, that was started just because Brezhnev personal ambitions were hurt, and it was his decision to start the war in Afghanistan. But even after his death, the war continued till Andropov, who was... so 3 of the general secretaries changed, like 3 died, sorry. Brezhnev, Andropov, I think Chernenko or someone like that. All 3 died. Gorbachev came to power. So... and still the war continued till 1989, so just before the collapse of the Soviet Union, it was stopped. So about the war in Ukraine and the war, it has this inertia, you know, Russian economy is now connected to this war. Everything in Russia connected to this war now. To stop it right away, it's gonna create instability inside Russia. Just imagine those people coming. There's how many? Roughly 700,000 Russian soldiers in Ukraine. They will come back to Russia. They used to earn hundreds of thousands of rubles, and they will be unemployed. Lots of the weapons. That's the vast field for internal civil war for Russia. So maybe if the new president comes to power and he will be from the same circle of Putin, it's 100% if Putin dies. So it doesn't mean that they will stop the war. And even before Putin, Russia was like that. They started the war in Chechnya, so Moldova, yeah, this Transnistria. So Russia is always like that. Much love from Yax. Thank you, Noel BP. So this is... Putin knows how Russian society thinks, and the Russian society is sick. They're sick of this imperialism, chauvinism, and Putin just uses this Russian common consciousness, you may call it. Yeah, not all of the Russians like that, but most of them, majority. That's why they support Putin and still support Putin. They need this Tsar to control them. And apparently... yeah, if it is too much, like too much crisis or whatsoever, it might lead to revolution. Revolutions, sometimes they're happening in Russia. If we check out the history, They're stupid, bloody, but yeah, it is happening regularly. But usually after those revolutions, there is another dictator. That's the classical Russian history. Russia ain't breaking up, lol. For now, no, but in the future it will. Do you speak Ukrainian or Russian in your private life? Russian. I am from Crimea, so it's my mother language. Is the international battalion still accepting English speakers, recruits from the other countries? I think yes. But I would not suggest to go to international battalion. I would suggest to go to a specific brigade or corps or whatsoever, like first Azov Corps or what else? The 3rd Army Corps. They have separate groups for English speakers with English speaker instructors. But yeah, it's up to you. I in general, I do not recommend to go in this war because the chance to lose the life is pretty much high. Denys, are you familiar with Davydov? Not personally, but I know his channel. United States soldier, volunteer. Any thoughts on his visits to Taiwan? Yeah, I saw he was filming the videos about difference in the drone use, FPV drones operation in Taiwan and Ukraine. It's totally different, he says. Like, not completely, but yeah, I know him. UDP, sorry. Thank you, Denys, for updating almost every day. Question is, looks like Ukraine doesn't utilize Mirage 2000s as much as F-16s. Mirage 2000 seems less capable, I ask, because Taiwan on both fighters as well. I cannot say... Well, Ukraine has less Mirages than F-16s, maybe that's why. Also, at least one Mirage was lost. Ukraine will obtain 2 more in the coming week, I hope. Yeah, so there is not more information I can tell you about Mirage. Buba Smith, thank you for your support on this channel as well. Good morning, everyone. Slava Ukrainian Geroyam Slava. Buba Smith, thank you. And Isabel Almeida, thanks for your super chat. Thanks for support of the channel. Denys, what is your attitude about United States operation in Iran? Should the United States overthrow Ayatollah regime? Nick, I don't think it's possible to overthrow Ayatollah regime with like it's only possible like in Iraq using ground troops. You cannot overthrow regime just by bombing some of the buildings, or they will just go deeper down to the caves and they will secure their lives. There either should be some special operation like with Maduro, but it's understandable that with Ayatollah it's not the case. It's way more difficult. Ayatollah is, after all, more competent than Maduro. And in Iranian territory, like in Caracas, it was like, okay, helicopters fly, you attack from the sea. It's very short shoulder, yeah, to reach Maduro. Here, it's not like that, absolutely, to reach Ayatollah. And yeah, the United States was successful with Maduro, but the regime is still the same. So basically, they took Maduro and his wife. Fantastic operation, but they haven't achieved the goal of changing the regime. They still have this blockade of oil and everything, but there is no further step. I expected some of the, some further movement in this case with Venezuela, but it didn't happen. In Iran, everything is more complicated. Iran is way bigger, more population, more army capabilities. We'll see, but just with airstrikes, it will not happen. I mean, regime is not possible to change with the airstrikes. With the ground forces, like in Iraq, again, lots of the losses for United States Army. This war will become really unpopular in the United States, Trump's rating will be 1-2% in this case. Then coffins with American soldiers will arrive to American soil. Regime potentially could be changed, but next what? United States, they have the most capable army. They're very effective. They took Afghanistan, took it. They took Iraq, Libya, coalition forces. Coalition forces, but mainly USA. And they are capable really in Iran. I think they might be capable with the ground forces. But what is next? After operation in Iraq, ISIS appears. So the next step after the collapse of the regime is total chaos, as usual. And then they have to fight with ISIS. Oh, fuck, we got rid of dictator, and now we have even worse thing. Now we need to pour more resources. That's why the war in Iraq was so expensive. Because, and in Afghanistan, they took control. They tried to implement some of the Western ideas, democracy, but it seems like locals, they didn't like it, mostly, and Taliban just came and took everything without any fights. Thank you for subscription, Mavino. Thank you. Pray a better future for Ukraine. Thank you for support of the channel. So that's my idea. United States might do whatever they want to do, but the result is under the question, and Trump understands that, and we have even articles published from yesterday that he still thinks about what to do. His main generals are also concerning about the possible outcome of this operation. I think they might strike Iran after all, just to show its power, and they allocated so many forces, spent so many resources. I think they might strike, but there are very, very low chances to replace Ayatollah. I think it should have been done, like some of the super secret spy operation should have been done during the peak of the protests, let's say. And now it's not it's already finished. The protests are being eliminated by Ayatollah itself, and there are some of the other waves. I check out the media sources. Like 3 days ago, they were reported about more protests, but they are not as severe, let's say, as they used to be. So, and Trump was telling, "Oh, we're gonna back you up. No worries, go protest," and he chickens out as usual. So, this is a very unpopular war in United States society. I would like Ayatollah to be changed, of course, for something better, but like the variant without the losses or with minimum losses of how to do it, it doesn't really exist. And all of the variants, it brings uncertainty. All of the variant is not good. There is no perfect variant to replace Ayatollah. I think the best variant is just for people of Iran to do it, but you see that they're being just killed on the streets and it's hard to do it. Too bad that this isn't the other channel where I'm in a mood. Hawk. Nice to see you here as well. Russia could have made itself a better place to live for its people. Instead, Putin greens up people for ego and power. Yeah, I agree with you, Noldorin. Yeah. I agree with you 100%. Russia is a freaking rich country, the richest in the world, and what they do is crazy. Drone pipeline bore machines can bore mines underground and surface. 10,000 combat drones. I was surprised you were streaming on the channel. Yeah, it was a long time since I last streamed here. Probably we collected some of the funds for the cars, I think, the last time. Other efforts to harden Chernobyl against further Russian attacks. I don't think it's possible, really. Is it possible? I don't think so. like this sarcophagus is out there, it's been damaged, but what like this project was built for years and years and years. To put some other extra sarcophagus, it will take also many more years and millions of investments. What will be outcome of April election in Hungary? What's your thoughts? I think Orban will lose it if he will not be able to rig those. The only way for him to win is to rig the elections. That's it. Then so you literally look thinner. Your personal health efforts are... Yeah, I'm way thinner than before. I lost 20 kilograms for the last half a year. That's the personal achievement. I eat maybe once a day or something. Additional protection over the sarcophagus would take billions of dollars. Yeah. And many more years. That's a lot. Well done. Yeah. Wavino, it was not easy, but I'm still losing the weight. 37% chance of Orban will win currently. Not 37% of chance, but his party has 30% of rating. It doesn't mean that he has 30% of chance. It's like saying that a libertarian party of the United States has 1 or 2% chance of having majority in Congress. Come on. Orban's party has a huge gap between opposition, between Fidesz party, Orban's party, and opposition party TISA. It's impossible to chase already for such a short period of time. So he will lose. Unless he doesn't recognize elections and say, oh, I'm still prime minister. Which he might do. He is a dictator. Do you know the channel covered Cabal? No. They count Russian tanks and stockpile T-80s have run out. T-72 numbers dropping very fast now. Hopefully, yeah. Like, I do not go to this counting. Sometimes then I have the news, I can go there, but yeah, I probably need to check. Thanks for telling me. Will Denys say something crazy in today's State of the Union speech? Oh, is it today? Hello, Denys, give me them, Mary Hill. So it is today then. I should stream it on my trash channel. By the way, guys, I have another channel. I'm gonna show it to you. Probably, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, here we go. That's my Captain Denys channel. Yeah, we have 31,100 subscribers, almost 400 videos. And I publish lots of the stuff there. Like the trash stuff that I usually don't publish on my main channel. Trash, I mean off topic, yeah, off top. Some of the videos, Epstein files, whatsoever, some of the American politics, cooking videos, and some of the drama happening. So aside of Ukrainian updates and some of the world news, which I sometimes discuss on the main channel. So you may join Captain Denys, and yeah, and there I stream almost every day. I streamed yesterday. I will stream today. Maybe this congressional address, yeah. I just need to check out at what time. Is it called congressional address? Okay, tell me Central European time of the congressional address of Donald Trump today. It will happen on 24th of February 2026. Who is Trump? Orban plus Trump peace. Oh, we have some trolls here or what? Today's congressional address, President Trump, State of Union, Jones. At 9 p.m. Eastern Time or at 3 a.m. Central European Time. Jesus Christ. 3 a.m. It's the night time. I usually sleep. Well, I'm gonna stream it, I guess, because it's interesting. It usually happens, I think, once in 2 years or something. Yeah. I think once in 2 years. Long time listener of the chatter. Sorry for fuck up politics. Chad says hi from America, Slava Ukraine. Thank you, Chad. Героям слава. Hello from Georgia. Georgia State or Georgia country? Yoha Studio. Careful, Denys. The Secret Service might be knocking on your door with a Google search like that, or whatever search engine you use. Come on, what are you talking about? It is annual. So every year. I don't remember it from the last year, actually. Do you know the new blackmail of, not the blackmail, but the new hoax of Putin? Probably I'm going to record the video today and I'm going to say about it. They're accusing France and United Kingdom of intention to supply Ukraine with nuclear weapons. Peskov commented about it, Russian official news commented about it, Putin commented about it, and all happened in a difference with few hours. They say that Ukraine will use nukes, Ukraine will obtain nukes, and Russia, in this case, will use their nukes on Ukraine. Just imagine. Starmer already commented, Russian dictator Vladimir Putin is deliberately lying about alleged UK plans to supply nuclear weapons to Ukraine, using the claim to distract from Russian crimes. Putin also claims that Ukraine aims to cut Turkish gas pipelines that go from Russia to Turkey. So, yeah, false flag maybe, I'm not sure. Maybe false flag they're planning. As Prigozhin once said, that they are so crazy that they're gonna strike Belgorod and then accuse NATO of striking themselves. Prigozhin says like that. I think I can find it in his interview, one of the last interviews. He said that they are so crazy, he says, Shoigu and all these people, maybe Putin also, that they're gonna strike Belgorod. Well, I cannot now find his interview, but I remember it. Prigozhin said Russia would not hesitate to take out insurgents in Belgorod. It isn't because we are retreating in Belgorod, letting them advance, that it's scary to strike someone else's side, but we'll strike our own side. We will show that mentally ill, what mentally ill we are, or how mentally ill we are. A nuclear strike on foreign soil would invite massive retaliation and lose Russia its allies. Attack by anti-Kremlin militias in Russia border region Belgrade have increased. So he said in interview, I just need some time to find it. So Prigozhin like forecasted it. This some sort of the false flag operation, right? That Russia may strike its own territory. The United States Constitution says the president must give Congress information on the State of Union from time to time. So it doesn't set fixed schedule in practice. It's basically once a year. Oh, I see. Echo, thank you so much. Multiple interviews of Russian prisoners talk about they were offered conscription of getting prison sentence. Yeah, it's happening. Then it's been around for a long time. I recently stumbled across the channel with your picture, frontline and sides. Is it yours? No, it's Impersonator, some scammer. Yeah, it's not my channel. I have 2 channels. Yeah, actually it's 3. Pilot blog, Denys Davydov with updates, and my trash channel, Captain Denys. That's all, like 3 channels I have on YouTube. I have Twitch channel, and yeah, have Instagram, have TikTok, I have Telegram. That's what I have. And also, I have one more channel on YouTube, but it is just for shorts. I have 130 subscribers there, so I don't want even to give the name, like it's useless. I just try to cut into short videos, but it didn't work for me somehow. It's very strange because before Pilot Blog was really successful with shorts, but then I cut my videos on streams in a short format videos. Rarely they're popular. They usually have 200 views maximum, 200, 300. Putin said before the 3 days, say 3 weeks. Does they agree with that Ukrainian army is more capable of United States Army as the Ukraine army have modern battlefield experience? No, it's uncomparable. Come on, the size of the American army is still like, even without this drone experience, they are very capable. It's uncomparable. Ukrainian army, if you compare it to European armies, yes, occasional European armies, like maybe Ukraine is more capable than Polish army. Ukraine is more capable than, I'm not sure about German army, but I think so. Well, Germans, they have also good technical advantage, but without drone experience, with the number of the units they have, so I'm mostly worried about European armies, Baltics, and they should put drones fully in use because they don't have this budget as the United States. So for sure, yeah. But the United States, simply technology, size, and even without drones, they are capable. And then I'm a huge Navy nerd, and there any chance the Ukraine Navy grows in ship count? There is one, I think, destroyer it's called, in Turkey. It will be built maybe even this year, but you understand that if it is deployed close to Ukraine, it will be hit by Russians, by Russian fighter jets, Russian cruise missiles, whatsoever. They will target the ship. Moreover, this year, for the first time, Russians start to use drone boats. They have cooperation with Iran to build drone boats. And they used it on one of the Ukrainian military ship the last year. Haven't heard about impact of minefields on this attack in the war for a while. Yeah, mines are everywhere. Like I showed the video from the front lines maybe 2 days ago, how Russian Neva hit the mine. The mines are out there. They're stopping aggression, and all of those countries which are bordering Ukraine, Belarus, and Russia, they exited the treaty of not developing or producing anti-infantry mines because they need those to reinforce their defenses for the possible future confrontation. I think German has not big number of the soldiers, yeah, but they got advanced equipment, yeah. But this equipment should have drone protection too. Is this port in operation? Yes, it's in operation. Zelensky has a stream right now in the office of the President of Ukraine channel. Is it on YouTube? Or Telegram, or where is it? Hundistan's times upcoming. On Facebook, I cannot access Facebook from my PC right now. I'm on unofficial website, President's office. Zelensky speaks out World Economy Forum. It says upcoming on some of the YouTube channels. Upcoming, but I don't see it really. What do you want to know in German? I don't know. I just want to know German in general. Why do you think Belarus has not taken a more direct role in aggression against Ukraine? Does this imply that Russia doesn't have complete influence over it? Almost complete, but not complete. Yeah. Lukashenko is still balancing a little. He has also China's support. So it's not fully under Russia, but almost fully under Russia. And maybe for Russia it's also profitable that Belarus is not under sanctions as hard as Russia. Like, for example, Donald Trump relieved the sanctions from Belavia, Belarus airline. And now if they fly to Russia, they deliver, of course, Boeing spare parts, components, and like they stay in the maintenance in Russia, where basically spare parts from the Belarus planes are replaced with broken Russians. Then in Belarus, they are changing for the newer spare parts ordered. So it's like that. Lukashenko has more to worry about than Russia because of its neighboring nations. Maybe, and his army will not be really decisive. But, a couple of days ago, there was information about mobilization in Belarus for some of the military drills, some sort of the forced mobilization. I'm not sure where it led, but Andrew, hi, thank you for support. Someone needs to tell Lavrov the Kerch deal is dead. Yeah, it was evident from the very beginning that it's dead. It's dead. Completely dead. Russia opened the criminal case against Pavel Durov. Russia has opened a criminal case against me for aiding terrorism. Each day, the authorities fabricate new pretexts to restrict Russians' access to Telegram as they seek to suppress the right to privacy and free speech. A sad spectate of the state afraid of its own people. Ta-da. I thought he would blame France once again. Pavel Durov is the small gomuncul clone of Elon Musk, because they are the same, producing kids as on a factory, and their look on foreign policy is the same, supporting those crazy, also pro-Russian parties. Like Pavel Durov, just before elections, he interfered into Moldova elections, into Romanian elections. Those are not democratic influencers, absolutely. They want autocracy. Well, autocracy now open the cases against them. One more joke of the day, like it's real information, that Russia bans the use of Messenger Max for the Russian soldiers. Even the Messenger Max is banned for Russians. No, not Telegram, nor it's better to say Max. They say that Max Messenger is, I would say, vulnerable for breach. It's not safe. They openly say it like that. Thanks for following, Medieval. Proud of your coverage and learned so much about the day of the conflict for years. Thank you, Rookie. European Union just slapped Hungary down about blocking the European loan. How did they do it, Craig? No, Max, yeah. They themselves, they forbid their soldiers to use Max. I didn't expect it. I say that this messenger is shredder, like it's not safe, that Ukraine will have the access to all of the information. Well, Russians confirmed that. Thanks for following, Topster. Thanks. No, 1 hour and a half I'm already streaming. It's nice. Maybe a little less on YouTube. 800 people. Oh, of course, on this channel we have many more viewers. Most of the Ukrainian war factories are already subterranean. Iranians, Israel do it as well. Yeah, I think so. Recently, there was the video shown of underground factory producing some of the missiles. I think this is Palanitsa missile or whatsoever. It's like the drone missile. It is happening underground. Most of the Ukrainian war factories, yeah. Soli is upset as the servers are not good enough, plus they have a list and everything. How are you doing, Denys? I'm doing great. It reminds me more of World War II, than Hitler had to have his munition factories built underground. Yeah. I think I also saw it from Russians. They not only built factories, but they also started to dig tunnels and they use the old mines underground. I'll try to find this info. I think it was published yesterday of the underground Russian facilities. They may even drive there with the cars.
Вот совершенно уникальное место. По этим туннелям.
They even filmed a video. I think it is some abandoned mine. They couldn't, like, it would take lots of the time to dig it down.
Подземного командного пункта на УАЗике можно ездить. Да что там на УАЗике? Здесь танки легко пройдут. В группировке «Восток» 36-ю бригаду шутку называют метростроевской. Километры тоннелей нарыли.
Well, here they say that they dig everything of that down. And this is the command center. What the hell is this? Ukrainian flag they have and an American one with a blue stripe, like police flag, right? Why do they have it like this waving? Maybe close to the bottom, you know? Maybe it's the trophy or whatever.
Углубились еще ниже, чтобы было уже совсем, так сказать, безопасно.
It's very interesting. They put it close to the ground like the trophy, you see?
Вверху сколько метров?
Еще 3 метра сверху.
А что там, бетонные плиты?
Там бетон.
What is this, exhibition of the drones or what?
Плиты.
Some sort of the museum, and drones are also on the ceiling. Why do they do it? Like, isn't it a better use for this underground place for something else than museum?
Плюс перекрытие деревянные и плюс еще накат земли, чтобы не было.
Stalin. You know, then so, yeah, thank you, Suspicious Panda Media, thank you. Greetings to UK.
Таких ударов химмерсов и
Not police flag, police supporter flag. Ah, I see.
выдержать, соответственно, это масштабный удар.
Сердце подземного.
Oh, now that's the command center. They have all the points.
Оно
Very similar to Ukrainian one, but just on a bigger scale. Lots of the monitors, probably responsible for really vast part. Maybe it's Donetsk direction or whatsoever. Numbers on every post, printers.
ситуационный центр с десятками мониторов, на которые в онлайн-режиме передается картинка с дронов-разведчиков и ударных коптеров.
Так, вот смотри, вот он, где? Вот он на подходе, вот он подлетает.
Here he is. Alexei Volkov, the head of the command of the 36th Brigade East Vostok. I know this laptop, this looks like MSI.
Правее ему надо заходить, пусть правее заходит. Вот спот уже. Видит он, нет его? Видит? Вот он уже перед тобой должен быть.
Well, actually, it's happening like that. Usually there are two commanders and his assistant, a radio, and here they are probably making the look that they're communicating with the guy. This is some sort of the dugout I can see here.
Вот, и все.
Maybe they just, you know, like, I know how it is usually done in Russia. Maybe they just play some of the pre-recorded video and they're making the look that they are communicating with the Russian soldier.
По вот этой дорожке, да. Все, вот так, вот. Давай, все, прямо. Теперь правильно, все.
Yeah, it looks like unreal. This is staged. This is really staged. But they have underground, yeah, that's what you say about underground facilities. Been watching it, Denys, since the war started. Just joined the chat. Great work. Thanks for the job. Thank you. Morgan Tonsen, thank you so much. Greetings to Norway. I believe that you had some contractual levers they could use against Hungary. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you may play something against Hungary. So, do many soldiers use their phones connected to internet on the contact line? I think yes. That's not very deep. Yeah. I think I should film today one more video together with live stream, but the video I'm gonna dedicate not to 4 years of war or something, but to just recent events and news. I want to dedicate this video to the 4 years of war, but I mean live stream, but not the video. Phones can be tracked. I think not every time, but they can. But they are used by soldiers. I know that. Yes, Orban has the right to drop his crap, but a workaround is created. Hopefully. Does they agree that Donbass, there is so much natural gas resources, I mean, for billions euros that Russia wants? Yes, billions of euros. But if you calculate how much money Russia spent for the war, and it's close to trillion, if we calculate everything close to trillion, it doesn't worse. Entire Donbass resources is just a fraction what Russia has already spent for the war. It's not about resources. Absolutely. If you calculate the price of the Kyiv city, like the price of every square feet or meter of the property, all of the buildings, all of the property, everything in Kyiv, it would cost 150 up to $200 billion. So Russia could have built 5 of those cities easily. But what they do, they just destroy. You say, okay, resources. What do they do with the resources? Pokrovsk, all of the mines, which were crucial for the special coal that Ukraine uses for power plants, all of the mines were destroyed. Azovstal factory, the richest really factory in entire Donbass, in Donetsk Oblast, was destroyed, bombed. Everything. It's not about the resources. Russia wasted a lot. They ruined the resources. They ruined all of the facilities and equipment, which was like the assert of some of the Ukrainian oligarchs. Yes, Ukrainians earn from it, but also oligarchs, the same, like Akhmetov. Everything of that is ruined. Russia is not interested into capturing. They're interested into destroying. And their goal is they interested in to capture Ukraine. That's what they want. But if they achieve their goal in destroying Ukraine, it's also will do for them. So Russia spent 1 trillion, and plus Russian assets are being confiscated. So it's absolutely not about money. And Trump doesn't understand it. Trump still stupid to understand that it's not about money. It's about power. But Donny, he is a failed businessman, so he knows nothing about politics. With Kim Jong-un, it's the same. With North Korea, it's not about money. It's about power and influence. Crazy ideas of Putin. Thank you for people. Thank you, Retate. Russia sounds like MAGA. Yeah, I call MAGA like Vatniks, American Vatniks. They have similarities. Over Candle, hi. Welcome to Twitch. All the mines are also flooded and probably collapsed by now. Yeah, Evelyn, you're correct. I have a new propulsion system. Then it's what? Propulsion system. I'm not the guy. I don't know lots of the guys like in the top rank or in Ukrainian army, so in a high rank command. Some of the officers I know, but I don't have communication because sometimes I have the messages Oh, Dennis, I know how to win this war. Okay. So I'm not Zelensky. I don't know him personally. So, and anyone out there in the high rank, I'm just a guy with a microphone, just an analyst, as there are many in internet. So, and I'm sure that the Ukrainian army, they already know what to do. Thanks for following, J Markfly. By the way, guys, you may follow me on Twitch as well. So every day I stream on my Captain Dennis channel, and on Twitch I have Captain Danny channel. Capt Danny. Well, anyways, everything is in the video description as usual. Oh my, I cannot show you this video, but maybe just partially. Yeah, like this from the front lines. The Ukrainian drone went inside the truck. There were lots of... this truck was carrying lots of the Russian soldiers, and they fucked us up. Yeah, and I cannot show you later because the camera turned for those Russian soldiers who were flatlined, and it's happening for the Russian logistics. Ukraine strikes really far away from the front lines themselves. That's interesting. Will Crimea ever be Ukrainian again? Of course. Thanks for the gift, Deborah Dorf. Thanks for the gift. Gifting 10 tier subscribers. Come on, that's crazy. Okay, I'm gonna shut down the browser just for now because it will pump all the time. Thanks for the gift. Thank you so much, Debsdorf. That's we have simultaneous guys stream on YouTube and on Twitch. The Drebsdorf. Dorf means village, and Drebs, it's kind of interesting. Are you from Germany? Thanks for the gifts. For subs, for gifts, for sub gifts. Thank you. Good afternoon, FIFA greatest. Nailed it. Denmark. Is Dorf also a village in Denmark? Dark Elder, hi. Now I have Dennis in stereo, both YouTube and Twitch. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. Lithuania, I love your content. Yeah, Lithuania really helps Ukraine a lot. Hello, Mikhail Chim. Hi. Thanks for super chat. Greetings to Romania, by the way. The drone operator gets 72 points for the amount of the good Russians made. Oh, yeah. Before, the price of Russians was just 2 points. Now it's 6 points. And there were many in this truck, and they were ambushed crazy. Yeah. Dennis, have been watching you a lot, your videos in 2022, 2023. Been busy lately, haven't had much time to watch your videos. When do you think Ukraine will receive the Gripens from Sweden? Ukraine planned to use this military support of $90 billion, euros, partially to get some of the Gripens. Initial contract was signed for many of those jets, but the project is for many of the years ahead. So not this year, but initial purchase might be paid partially from this loan money for Ukraine. And I guess in a couple of years, Ukraine may obtain Gripen E modification. Also, the problem with this contract that, first of all, Ukraine will have to find the resources. The other problem that Gripen becomes popular for others, and they do not have like this huge production. So, yeah, there are many more customers who would like to get a Gripen. Especially right now, then some of the allies, they change opinion on F-35 fighter jets because, first of all, Donald Trump administration says that they will be restricted for allies, and also there is the possibility to have this remote switch to shut them off if needed. Also, Europeans will be very dependent on American spare parts, so Europe now wants to be more not isolated, but independent, let's say. Hello, what is your YouTube account? Well, YouTube, I have 2 channels. It's Denys Davydov, where I stream right now, and also Captain Denys. Those are 2 channels. Doom 2329. Denys and German map-based war analysis. I run a similar military analysis channel. Some of my work has been referenced in discussions during Thailand, Cambodia. Do you know my co-73 analytic? Because he also reviewed that conflict. He had his military map, I think, for that one. Yeah, that is not that huge, but there was some stuff happening, yeah. Tom 2329, thanks for following. And thanks also for the job you do. So good to see you. So good to see you too, guys. MPV. Thanks for joining the stream. My main source to just wish his fortune updates a bit shorter like before. I'm sorry for the longer videos, guys, but I have to do it. I'm sorry. For me, it's more interesting to film longer videos. I sometimes try to... Okay, I'm gonna show you what I do. Now, if you play most of my videos, if I have time for it, there are time codes, so you can skip. If this topic particular in this part of the video is not interesting for you, you can skip. So I have also my Spotify. Yeah, I forgot about Spotify. Oh, sorry, we have lots of the messages coming. So this is my Spotify. I have 2,674 subscribers. That's good. Also Denys Davydov. Lots of the streams. And if I go to episodes, where this is analytics, analysis. If I go to episodes, what is this draft? Oh, I haven't published it. I haven't published it. It's about USA. Oh, that's sad. Okay, I will publish it later. So if we go to chapters, here you have the chapters. So usually I copy just time codes because on Spotify you have also this visual information as on YouTube. So I just copy time codes, I copy names and put everything of that on YouTube, so you may skip. So I don't spend time for generating, for typing the time codes. So it is done by Spotify. I just send it to YouTube, copy paste, and you have those chapters if the video is long. Yeah, I try to do it, but sometimes this feature is not generated just like that. Sometimes I have to wait for several hours for it to be generated. That's why, sorry, then I initially published the video. There could be no time codes. And in general, I like Spotify. It's a very good platform. I was advised to use it by Jake Bro. I didn't know that there is a visual information as well. So the same videos like I publish on my main channel, I have here. And also we have monetization. And for this 2,000 subscribers, I already earned in general. Well, I haven't yet received money from it, but just for you to show. That's my earnings for January plus February. So $1,000 I already earned from the same videos I publish on YouTube. So just post them, plus that you have codes generated and also some of the extra income. Why not? I spend the same amount of money for my medical insurance for entire family, so thank you, Spotify. And I like it. I mean, they also have a good support, way better than YouTube. You speak with direct with humans, not with stupid AI. And yeah, it's also useful because some people, thank you, Denys, for sharing on Spotify as well, because I don't like to watch on YouTube. But some people, they say, I don't like Spotify, I like to watch you on YouTube. So it's good to publish everywhere, for people to watch where it's more convenient for them. Greetings to Germany, RMX. But YouTube takes 30%. No, YouTube takes, I think, 55 or I don't remember, more than 30. I personally watch YouTube though. Yeah, YouTube is still like the biggest platform, and I put my efforts more to YouTube, of course. No, YouTube takes, I think, 45 or 55, I don't remember. Not 30. 30% it takes from your super chats. So your super chat goes, for example, $10. YouTube takes $3. And $7. So from super chats, 30. But from general monetization, it's like 45 or something, yeah. I like streams, guys. I like streams more than filming videos. That's why I started my another channel. That's why I started Twitch. I understand that my streaming career is very terrible, but I want to stream and some of the trash content as well, not just the war in Ukraine. Some of the streamers, some of the drama stream, like general politics and everything. Greetings to Kyiv. However, is the situation with the electricity better there with the power supplies? Well, I think it depends in what district you live. You're saying in audience syllabus is somewhat the worst Putin goes into. How much does Patreon take? I don't know. They take, they do not say. Yeah. I know that for me to withdraw from Patreon, it takes via Payoneer I do it. It takes not much, I think 3% or something. Denys, is there a good free time fishing in Crimea? I will promise to go there when it's again civilized. Yeah, it's a good place. Smiling Speedster. Yeah, it's a good place. I used to fish there with my grandpa in Sussex Lake. It's kind of the big lake, but there are carp fish. Yeah, mostly carp fish. How long will the Ukrainian army capture back villages with a counter operation? What do you think? The idea is to liberate. In the best case, Gulay Pole. In the best case, I have doubts about it, but Ukraine is pushing Russians away from the main defense line that is ongoing through this river and all of those settlements. So I think it's already the peak of this operation. I do not expect that Ukraine, like in the best variant, maybe Gulay Pole and some of those villages here, to push Russians away by maybe 5 kilometers more, maybe 10 maximum. But it's not like the full-scale counteroffensive. But it's good. It's still good because Russia, before, they moved really fast here. In autumn the last year, winter the last year, and this year partially, they moved really. I was calling that, well, Russia is definitely on full-scale assault, but now there is no variant for Russia to attack here, since Ukraine took already initiative, and that's the main thing. It's not the summer offensive of 2023, but still Ukraine is capable. I'm trying to get my computer geek friends to start video bank site on top of stop this YouTube robbery. YouTube will still be popular, and it's not the best video hosting website, but it became just popular, and it's kind of hard to grow something else or to grow your content somewhere else. I tried on Rumble. Actually, it was good, but I stopped it. Denys is regards current. Greetings from UK. Thank you, Denys. Do keep information following, watching since the start. You subscribe and try to get others to watch. Not enough coverage. The main media. Yeah. This topic is not that popular any longer, unfortunately, after 4 years of war. Ma'am. I have a clue or maybe idea or theory why Putin now escalates with this nuclear weapon and whatsoever, accusing Ukraine of obtaining nuke. He wants to be at the front pages. Again, it seems like Donald Trump is shadowing. Donald Trump is so unhinged that he's definitely, with his Greenland ideas and Iran and everything, everyone forgot Putin. Putin is like this, some sort of the local guy with his local war, but Putin doesn't like it. I think for Putin, движуха is then everyone is speaking about him. I think it was really the main reason. I think Putin was bored. Yeah, that's why he started this war. He was bored, he was in quarantine, he was surrounded by his crazy circle, sharing the same idea to restore Russian Empire. And Putin, hooray, let's make it happen. Let's play this game with human lives. And they started this war, and he enjoyed it, really enjoyed. He was smiling then he was speaking about the war. Even then, he met with widows of the soldiers who lost their lives. He was smiling, telling them, your sons could have been killed by vodka, but they spared their life for the country, for the fatherland, motherland. That's crazy. But he was smiling, speaking like that, and I think he is the sick. He's completely out of reality, but he wants to be this dictator. He wants to be afraid by other countries. He wants to be respected. That's why he 1 month ago said, if we are not respected by West, we're gonna if we are respected by West, we're not gonna start new special military operations. That's what he said. So they will try to escalate, of course. Now they're accusing Ukraine of using nukes. And Donald Trump is not okay for Putin because he's more unhinged, maybe, in a way. That's why everyone speaks about Donny. Well, he's more unhinged in the media, in the media. Not actually, but in the media. Being a magnet fishing YouTuber after the war is going to be wild found helicopter police. I see. Debrisdorf. Yeah. I think the switch button of F-35 and others is more about the United States denying service maintenance software updates. Yes, Dark Elder. Yes, I think so. Thanks, about 2 bits. Thank you for watching. How can other countries protect themselves from Russia? How does Ukraine share information about attacks on infrastructure, power grids, and so on? Well, I think they have plans for protection. Baltic countries, I think 100% they have those plans. Not sure if they can protect themselves, but we'll see. How do we catch MAGA on good day and get them to actually do something? they do. They destroy everything. Destroy the world order. He won't nuke squad. Russia has 2 big cities. Yeah. Greetings to Belgium. Don't forget to like the stream. Yeah, you may like the stream, guys. United States dollar has devalued 16% in the past year. Yeah, I see it. I now pay more. Like, I received the money in dollars, but I pay in francs. So, yeah, actually, I pay my rent in the dollars by 16% more. Yeah, almost 20%, actually. It's hard to be United States citizens to see our president more focused on his personal agenda than having empathy for others. Yeah, John, that's crazy with this Trump guy. Right, guys, it's been 2 hours. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna record one more video, just a regular update. And yeah, thanks for joining me on today's brief stream. I decided to make it for whatever reason. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make those streams regular here, but at least something. Yeah. In the evening, I'm gonna make stream, not in the evening American time, but it's gonna be nighttime for Europe. So this congressional address of Donald Trump, I'm gonna stream it, but not on main channel. I have another channel. It's called Captain Danny. You may follow me there. Denys, Captain Denys. It's a YouTube channel, or on Twitch, Captain Danny. You can also follow me there. So see you with this congressional address of Donny. See you guys. Ciao. Thanks again for watching, and you're awesome.